Not to go, ready to go. What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog. You get a 2 for today, a 2-for-1 special. So shout out to y'all. Nobody tells you today, remember that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I'm praying for you guys. Praying you guys have a wonderful day. And if you are having a horrible day, I'm praying for a better day and maybe even a better tomorrow if the good Lord sees us through. Make sure you subscribe to the Taking Home podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics. And I'll put up my matches as Classic Alpha, professional wrestler of 13 years. Look at my playlist, Classic Alpha matches. Excuse the sun, it's really shining on me now. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Still, make sure you subscribe to this channel for wrestling content and also me wrestling. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. We celebrated 7 years last week. May 23rd, we celebrate our 20th show. Now, I know a lot of people, they do shows monthly. Some do it every other month. We do it every 3 months, and I'm happy for that. You know, it's not a race to us. You know, we do things on our status, our financial status, and what makes sense to us and what works for us. And I do like the old school aesthetic of every 3 months. You know, they used to do these kind of things back in the day, and I think it works for us. Lafayette in Indiana in the building. What's going on, Robert Brown? God bless you, brother. Range Syndicate in the building. So, but even then, subscribe for C3 Ultimate Wrestling, because not only are we talking about the shows from last year, we're talking about the first show before 20, which will be Big Business, B-I-G Business, February 21st, 2026, Dyer, Indiana, Harold's Private Venue. You can get your tickets now on Eventbrite. They're $5 off. You can get tickets at the door, but it'll be $5 more. Bars. Now, the thumbnail of this video is the official logo for 20. That is what we are going to name our show, our 20th show after Big Business, 20. If you guys know me, you guys know that usually after, at every 5th show, it'll have the name. Like, the 5th show was called 5. The 10th show was called 10. The 15th show was called 15. The Takeover. This time, we're going to call it 20. Will we have a hashtag with it? Who knows? But still, I'm very, very excited. You know, I'm excited for Big Business, which is less than a month away. And then that goes all the way down to 20. So obviously, we have to figure out what's going to happen at Big Business and see how that's going to shape up for 20. But what I can say for the show 20 is that we do have some big debuts, and I cannot wait till that stuff starts to happen, and then we start like unloading a lot of the content and everything like that. Shout out to Arshawn, shout out to Kevin Yeller, shout out to Tony Thunder, shout out to a lot of people helping a lot of this stuff go, and I'm so excited. Just appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate the sub, man. Thank you so much. I don't know, you said you ain't watched WWE in a while. CM Punk don't have no title match. I watched the clips. I caught up to like 2 weeks clips. Like, I don't watch the clips like I used to. But I'm not shocked. I mean, they've done this for a bit. You know, sometimes the champions don't defend on Royal Rumble or whatever like that. Sometimes they just have one title match. And honestly, they don't want to take away from Sami Zayn, his pop, and all of that stuff, whether he win, lose, or draw. But like I said, every 5th show, I name it at the 5th show that comes in. So 20, shout out, like I said, shout out to Arshawn, shout out to Yella, shout out to Tony Thunder, because those 3 guys, they'll definitely help me put a lot of stuff, being creative with certain things, with the videos, with the promos, and even with the flyer. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for you guys to see it. But still, before that, obviously, we're doing Big Business, B-I-G Business. You know, the main event will be the C3 Ultimate Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Joseph Armor Credit, versus D'Angelo Steele. We also have Tony Thunder versus Davon Carter versus Johnny C.K. in the Triple Threat. We have the champions, the ARC. They're going to go against Brittany K, Gustavo, and Jay Leon. If the team that aren't the champions, they win, they get the belts. So that's a very interesting concept. We have the Cobra going against the C3 Urban Culture champion, Marcelo Spade, for the title. You know, that's a feud that I'm really interested in seeing. I'm interested in seeing a lot of stuff. and many more matches, a few more matches. You know, if Xander gets his K&G suit and he shows up with his Stacey Adams, he's gonna be dressed for the funeral the next day, February 22nd. He'll be ready for that. That'll be a match if he pull up. Now, if he's smart, he'd stay home. But we know that he ain't smart, so we know he's gonna be there. So we do have some matches lined up for that. And like I said, everything that happens at Big Business, obviously, it snowballs into 20 because 20 will happen May 23rd. May ask. I've never had a dog collar match. That doesn't look appealing to me. I've never seen a match. I've never seen a dog collar match where I'm like, yes, please let it happen. Oh my gosh, I'm waiting for this. Like, I used to love cage matches until they were overdone. Cage matches and Hell in a Cells, they overdone. Outside of War Games and Blood and Guts and then Steel Cages, those used to get me excited. Dog collar matches has it. Now, the last one I did see, I do believe it was CM Punk and MJF. That one was a good one. That one was definitely a good one. What was Drew and CM Punk's? Was that a dog collar or bull rope? I don't know. It's some mix both concepts. Texas death matches and stuff, but still, I did think that CM Punk and MJF's version of the dog collar match was pretty good. I don't really get excited for those kind of matches, but some matches have been decent. Sami Zayn and Drew don't have a strong story. They don't, but Sami has the fans of Saudi Arabia, and that's all WWE is worrying about right now. They love him and everything. They love him. He speaks the native language. He's Muslim. They love that. So that's what they're going for. Now, like I said, if he doesn't win, he'll probably win next year at WrestleMania because WrestleMania is going to be out there. And then that's what they're going to do for business and also pandering. The problem with it is, are people going to be that interested in seeing Sami Zayn? Now, the American fans, maybe not, but the fans over there, they will be. And honestly, let's be honest, that's the only fans that matter when they're out there because they are out there. Those are the only fans that matter. They want people to have reaction and stuff like that. They want that stuff. So wouldn't be surprised at all if Sami Zayn wins it next year. Just saying. Punk and McIntyre had a strap match. Okay, it's a strap match. Okay, it's a strap. Okay. It was like they had to hit the four corners or something like that. I know that like they were tied together. So you know what I'm saying? People have their own version of what it is. So but still, going into the topic at hand for the video, promoting. So not only has C3 been around for 7 years, I've been promoting, and my wife been promoting, and I've been putting this stuff together. We've been doing this together for 7 years, and I wanted to speak about it for a little bit without pulling the curtain back. This ain't C3 Unreal, so I'm not pulling no curtain back because what we have is very, very special, and it is so special that even some of the staff that are with us, they don't want to know nothing. They want to watch the show, which could be very, very difficult at times. It's very difficult to be like, hey, I have to tell you something, but I can't. Just do your job. And for them, that's mostly easy for them to do. Some people will be like, well, why did you want to run a company? And I'll say this: I wanted to run something because I felt like I could. I've been to companies where they were great and they were awesome. I've been to some companies that I was like, why are you even running businesses? Like, what is the point of that? But to me, I felt like I had stories. I had creativity. I felt like I could do it. And then I talked to my wife, and my wife said, do it. And then ever since, you know, we get together, we brainstorm about certain things, how we bring things in and stuff like that. And I can honestly say, as a guy that's going into the 19th show Big Business, I'm definitely a better promoter and a booker and a businessman than when we first started Press Start, January 19, 2019. I am definitely better. I try to make sure I look out for people. I have a core of a roster for C3. So like if you think of people like Joseph Ira Credit or D'Angelo Steele or the ARC, you think C3, Tony Thunder, the Cobra, C3, you know, even with the board. Don't like them, can't stand them, done a whole bunch of stuff, but you know that they're going to try to always be incorporated in C3. And honestly, Big Business would be like the final kick out the door, especially if Xander shows up. I think they all should stay home, to be honest. Whoever finds C-Red, whoever finds Mr. Young, tell them to stay home. But still, I hated that match. You hated the Punk and the Drew match? I mean, it was okay. I mean, the Hell in a Cell match was way better. They used a blood feud and actually applied blood when it needed to happen. When you think of garbage, think of Hakeem. Oh my God, C3. Now this is not C3 Unreal, but still, I felt that we could do something. I felt like we had like a vision, and I felt like I wanted to run a company, and I also felt like I was just very, very creative. Now, I've talked about Press Start. I've talked about some of the things that I did like about Press Start. One, actually having a show and having people like having a general interest. Things I didn't like. I had like 9 matches, and the person who I rented the ring from, the ring was not in the best shape. And the people that were supposed to help set the ring up, they didn't know how to set the ring up, and they didn't want to. But when it was time to have a show, they sitting down and clapping their hands and eating food and stuff, talking about, hey, you can book us. I'm like, why would I book y'all if y'all not even helping set up the ring? Y'all don't even know how to set up the ring. So certain things, you know, it was snowing that day. Snowed bad the previous morning. It was very heavy snow, and we still had a good turnout. But, you know, we don't do shows in January for a reason anymore. You know, even now it's like it snowed today. It's February, so still. So those kind of things, you know, we think about. We think about how we're going to set up the dates. My job schedule, her job schedule, other people's job schedule, and stuff like that. Those things I incorporate into how I do shows. I want to do 3 to 4 shows a year. Where I want to do more, of course. But like I said, we are doing our own pace. It is definitely not a race. And I think, you know, going from C3 Wrestling to C3 Ultimate Wrestling, it shows. I feel like even the name change was an evolution. We went from C3 Wrestling to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. You have some Ultimate Wrestlers, and you witness the ultimate experience at C3 Ultimate Wrestling. 20 shows. Biggest lesson learned. Be consistent. One of the main things is being consistent. Being consistent and learning. You can still learn and be consistent. You can grow and still learn. You can be successful and still learn. You can still lead and still follow people with certain things and all of that stuff. Show people with respect. This was before I even decided. Be respectful. I know some people have a promoter and a booker have a God complex sometimes where I could just say something and you're going to do it because this is an opportunity for you to show something. I'm not like that. I know that if I don't have any wrestlers show up, there's no C3. And even then, it's absolutely free to treat people nice and to have some kind of decency and stuff like that. You know, I've had disagreements with some wrestlers. Some wrestlers are not coming back to C3. Some didn't like the vision, and that's fine. I don't have no ill will towards them, and I honestly wish them the best. So I still have to be consistent. C3 still has to go on. We still have to move. Card subject to change is under the flyer for a reason. Things happen. Sometimes people get sick. Sometimes cancellation, sometimes it's weather, sometimes it's injury, sometimes it's a whole bunch of things, but you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. I don't have that much time to just be complaining about certain things and all of that, because even if somebody has done me wrong, if I'm sitting there complaining about it, all people's going to see is me complaining, right? So I have to learn to just be consistent, to promote. It's me and my wife's company. So for me to try to be upset that people don't promote it as much as me or more than me, it's crazy to me because it's my company. I'm the promoter. I have to promote it more. Now, do I require people to promote the show? Yes, by sharing it and by doing promos and stuff like that. That's easy. When I started, we are literally a few people who started with me around this time are literally the last of the dying breed. Back in the day, you had to sell 10 tickets to even get paid, to even get booked. You had to go to practice to get booked. You had to go out and flyer. Hey, let's go meet up at the mall and let's flyer. And that's what got you booked. These is different now. These are more convenient. So you have to learn how to get with the times. I'm learning how to do things and how to promote better and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is to just be consistent. Oh, I wanted to do something with this guy as far as story purposes. Oh, they can't make it. I have to keep forward. I got to keep pushing. I got to move around. Hey, this person looks like they have a great character. Let me book them and see the magic that they put into C3 and let's see what works. And if it works, they'll come back. If not, it is what it is. Or I'll just call them whenever I need them. Those kind of things. So still getting into it. 20 shows. What is the most difficult and rewarding part of promotion? I think the difficult part is the anticipation leading into the show. It's very, very difficult because, like I said, sometimes we book shows 3 months out. So when we're doing that, we have to anticipate that people are going to show up as far as the fans. We want to make sure the fans show up. You want fans to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's why we do deals, we do family things. We try to bring things to bring the family together. So that's an anticipation. Also wrestlers, especially like if you feature like wrestlers in your main event or like a special attraction, you want them to be healthy enough to come to the show. But things happen. Cancellations. I've had 2 cancellations at one spot, same time. They canceled it the week of the show because they were trying to get me up out of there. And unfortunately, they got me up out of there. That messed up the merit of C3 because now people would think, hey, are they going to run a show? They have companies that had to go under because of that, because they weren't consistent with certain things. So that's the anticipation. Are we going to actually have the show? Are fans going to show up? Are wrestlers going to show up? Is everything going to be cool? Is everything going to be smooth? You know, I wrestle on the platform as well. You know, will I be good? Will I be healthy? Will I be all right? And stuff like that. What can I do different from the last match to make sure the fans are engaged? Those are very, very important things that I always think about. And that's like very difficult because some of those things you can't control. And I think that's what it's the difficult part, is that sometimes you can't control certain things. Yeah, I can book this person for this, but at the same time, they can also say, hey, I don't want to be there. I'm not going to force nobody or threaten nobody and stuff like that. It is what it is. You have to keep moving. So those are the things. The most difficult thing is you just can't control everything. And not saying that I want to control everything. It's just that I do have a certain amount of expectations when it comes to certain things. And then sometimes people don't fulfill it. They don't reach it. They don't meet it. So either they don't get booked or they don't get booked as much. And that's just, it is what it is, right? You know, if you want this and you want to be promoted, you're saying, what do you have to do to be working at C3? And I'm giving you an opportunity and I'm telling you to. And when I say opportunity, I mean just to wrestle, period, here. So like when you show me that you want to do that, you may come back or you may not. Like we have a core. And my thing is, I don't want to boot none of the guys from my core to bring new people in, but I can incorporate it if it's worth it, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? But so that's definitely like one of the most difficult parts. The rewarding part is the reactions, man. The reactions. Man, even ever since we went to Harold's Private Venue, when we did, what was the first show we did there? Was it Into the Limelight? Yeah, it was Into the Limelight. That was the first show there. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a one and done partnership with Harold's Private Venue. I thought it was going to be a one and done because I was so used to working in Crown Point at On the Square Sports Academy. But the fans loved it, and they loved the venue. They loved where it was. More people come in, they're like, hey, we like this spot, this is great. Miss Kelly from Harold's Private Venue, very professional, very nice, and everything, helps us out. One time we had a mic issue. They let us use the mics, no problem and stuff like that. We have a great relationship. And we are continuing to build it because they are awesome. They do great things for the community. They get people together, things that we try to do at C3 Ultimate Wrestling. But this is the venue that we get the most positive reactions out of. So we continue to work there. We continue to do things there. And it's rewarding because we be having to bring out more chairs. We bring out like 60 chairs and then we have to bring out dang near 80 chairs or 90 chairs because more people are coming in. They're still buying tickets and stuff like that. That's rewarding. They believe in the product. And to me, regardless if the ticket is $5, $10, or $15, I'm definitely going to make sure they're going to get their money's worth so they come back. And then they also tell other people, the wrestlers who come in, oh my gosh, Chris, you're doing a great job and stuff like that. This is creative. I haven't seen nothing like this before. And I don't just take the credit. I'll be like, okay, this is Kev's idea. This is Arshawn's idea. They just work the magic and stuff like that. You know, I have an idea and then I work with them and stuff like that. I do things like really, really, really different, and I try to show a lot of gratitude. And I'm sure most of them just hate that I say thank you and I appreciate it. But I want people to know that I'm not entitled to none of this help at all. I'm not entitled to it. I feel like I'm blessed with it. I feel like these are things that are great, that I will put these guys as far as production and video and editing. I'll put these guys up against some of the best people, because you can tell it's not just I'm just doing it to do it. They're actually putting their all into it to make sure it's different and it sticks out. And that's very rewarding, right? You know, when you can get a team that wants it as bad as you do, very dope. That's very dope. DJ Dose, right? DJ Dose. He was in the crowd watching the show. I had issues with audio. He messaged me and he said, hey, you guys had a great show, but you know, if you need help with audio and stuff like that, I'm a DJ, we can do stuff. And we've been working since. The music, the mixes and stuff like that. He brings stuff for setup. He helps things out. He helps me rocks with Kev. They do things together. They're a dynamic duo sometimes. The dynamic trio with Arshawn with certain things. Arshawn with commentary, Kevin with our commentary. It's so great that people put so much work in, and I just want to show gratitude for the situation, because there was a time where I was doing all of it, and I'm not saying it as a complaint, because like I said, if I want something done as far as a promoter, I know I have to go above and beyond for what I believe in, but they take a lot of stuff off my back with stress and work, because they do these things. And not only do they do these things, they do these at a fast rate, and I'm definitely grateful. That's the rewarding part, to see that people can see, okay, Classic is putting these people together, they have great matches, but let's make sure the versus graphics look good. Let's make sure the flyer looks good. Let's make sure the fight centers from Kev is good. Let's make sure the intros, the promos, let's make sure that stuff is good. When you have a team, it's great, because it makes me have more time to do certain things as far as C3. I feel like I'm rambling, but that is definitely one of those things that is very, very rewarding, to just continue to grow. That fans are leaving messages on YouTube. They're saying, oh, we bought tickets. And even on Facebook, oh, tagging people, hey, I'm going, are you coming with me? New people who are following the page and stuff like that, they're looking at the ad and they're looking at this stuff. They're looking at wrestlers, they're looking at black wrestlers, and they're looking at wrestlers of all kinds of colors and stuff getting together and doing it. And I say that because that sometimes people do acknowledge that and say that not a lot of people are doing it. Now, honestly, not a lot of people are doing it. And it's not just to brag. It's just to show that we have some talented brothers and sisters out there. And we do book people that ain't black. Got the Johnny C.K.'s been around, the Rocky Rivera's, and Nick Diamond. We have all of that stuff. We have great referees. We have great staff. We have a lot of stuff, right? And that's not even my selling point for the company, but that's what people look at. You know, my biggest selling point, you guys know, is family friendly, but it all works together, and I'm truly grateful for that. What is... I like, yeah, Harold's is good. The food is good too. I do like Harold's. I do love that it is in a small, intimate setting too. So I feel like nobody's going to miss any action sitting behind somebody, or the chairs aren't going to be in a bad spot to where people can't see something. I feel like the chairs, and even like how it is, everybody is close enough to see everything in the action. Trust me, I've been to shows where the venue is just so big, and it's like, why did I come in if I can't even see it, you know? That is a question I'll be having, but you may not be able to answer. How do you keep the tick so affordable with an expensive as everything is? Because we do care more about the fans. Do we want to make a profit? Yes. A lot of companies, I'll say this, a lot of companies don't even break even when it comes to business. The money comes in through sponsorships. They come in through sponsors. They come in through people. That's why a lot of shows, I don't know if you guys know, but especially on the independents, they'll be like, hey, why don't you sponsor a wrestler? And you pay to basically come out with the wrestler, or you can sponsor a match. I sponsor matches for Now That's Wrestling. Usually my matches I usually sponsor when I was there. Some people do sponsors like that. Some people have sponsorship packages. We have sponsorship packages. So that's something I'm definitely going to try to incorporate and promote more for C3 and stuff like that. But we keep them affordable because we call it family friendly for a reason, right? So when we first started, tickets for kids was always $5 and tickets for adults was $10. And then we did upcharge only at the door. However, only if you go to Eventbrite, which is a lot cheaper, $5 cheaper, you can get those prices online. But if you do show up at the door, it's just $5 more, bars. So most people buy tickets from Eventbrite because they have more than one child. And they want to make sure that they have good things and stuff like that. You know, trying to sell tickets to a family of 5 with crazy prices is definitely hard to do because sometimes they're just bringing their kids to see a show. They're not even going to enjoy it, but they'll eventually enjoy it because it's C3. You know what I'm saying? So those kind of things is things that we think about. You know, me and my wife, we talked about it and stuff like that, but I do think that, you know, we're just focused more on sponsorships and stuff like that. And I want to make sure who ever sow money into us, they believe in us and they know that we just not just trying to just take money to take money. We're promoting and stuff like that. I do commercials and stuff. I owe you one, Arshawn. I owe you two of them, actually. No, you don't want one, but still. Those are the kind of things that like we just keep going. I don't want to just say it's a hobby. C3 is a movement, excuse me. C3 is definitely a movement, and I think a lot of people are starting to feel it. Some people are asking, hey, do you run C3? Hey, I want to wrestle there. And hey, well, if you ever have spots, let us know and stuff like that. And it's very, very dope. Royal Ramble. It's definitely the Royal Ramble. Your appreciation goes a long way, especially. Thank you. I appreciate you, Jamie. Shout out to Jamie. Jamie is the photographer for C3. He does great pictures and stuff like that. Some people use it for their profile, and then he does edits and stuff, cartoonized and regular things, and then he does graphics. So shout out to him because, you know, he does a great job with taking photos, and he sends them to me, and he hasn't sent any bad photo. So what's going on, Elon? I am chilling. I hope everything's well with you, Elon, with your business and stuff. So, oh, weed. Royal Ramble. I need some water. This ice water ain't have to hit like that. But still, yeah, man, like, to me, I don't want to say it's easy to be creative, but to me, I think it's easy for me to come up with a concept because I don't just see creating and doing things and promoting as just a promoter and a wrestler. I see it as a fan. What would I like to see in a wrestling show? Who would I like to see in a wrestling match? I think outside the box when it comes to certain matches, because I'd be like, you know what? I think this match would be good, and I think the crowd will love it. Prime example, Joseph Credit versus the Cobra, right? I was like, I'm cool with both of them. Those guys are my brother. And I'm like, you know what? This will be a great match. And look at what happened. Look at the reaction. Everybody goes crazy. The Cobra is a guy that everybody wants to face. Not even just in C3, in other spots, period. People was like, I was in the back, and people was telling me, hey, man, what Cobra doing, man? I want to face the Cobra because the Cobra, everybody knows, like, he's one of those guys that's up there and is, like, very, very respected. No, I do not have Cash App. Still very, very respected. But those are all good things too. Spade and Tony Thunder, that was pretty good. Arshawn's match that he likes, one of his favorite matches, is Kenny Nine and Johnny CK. I remember he said that in a post and stuff like that. A lot of things that come together. There's a lot of great matches. Like I'm like, man, just look at C3 Ultimate Wrestling YouTube page, and you don't even have to watch the whole show. I do have everything cut up to where you can just see the matches that you want to see. And it's very cool, man. It's just like to just think about it. Because like I said, I use my fan goggles, if that makes sense. Hey, as a fan, when I look at this card, do I want to see this stuff? Do I want to see D'Angelo Steele versus a Spade or Joseph Credit? Or what do I want to see? And I'm definitely like that. Me as a wrestler myself, I could sit here and be like, dang, I want to go against this person. Let me see if this person is available. I told him I don't have Cash App. I don't do Cash App. I don't trust Cash App. But still, going into the situation, yeah, I do think that it's very, very cool, and I do try to come up with creative concepts of what can I do different. Like, even if two people have faced each other before, what can I do to make it different at C3? What kind of match stipulation? What kind of championship? What kind of story can I do? Some people have faced each other before in other companies, but what can I do different? You know, there's other matches that I can't wait to show that's in my mind that I want to have at C3. So people can be like, we have footage of it, you know, recording and stuff. Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Arshawn. Because there was a time where I used to just have a camera, just one camera on the hard side. And that was the only angle. Now you get 360 Now you can switch from angles and stuff like that. You can see stuff. We working on a whole bunch of stuff, and it is great. Yes, I have cash. I send it to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna turn down no money. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I ain't turning down no money. Yeah, peace be with you, man. Peace be with you. Anyway, still, like I said, honestly, it's just a blessing. It's just a blessing, and I'm blessed that we are blessed financially to do these kind of things, and then to also be okay, right? And like I said, we're just going to continue to grow. I just gotta just try to make people, especially people who I want to sponsor, understand that this is a great thing to sponsor and to believe in. You know, we've had 2-3 sponsors before and stuff like that. Shout out to Limelight Comics. Shout out to Penny for Your Thoughts Cookies. Them cookies were so fire. You know, shout out to David from Limelight Comics. You know, he sent so much money. He made custom pictures of the Into the Limelight and stuff like that. And shout out to everything that he's continuing to do, because he's still continuing to grow his company. But I'm blessed that he gave us a chance, you know, the commercials, and he would send things and I would do commercials for it and things like that. So those are the kind of things that are very, very important to me. And it's very, very dope that people believed in me, and people still believe in me, and they believe in C3, because to me, these wrestlers can find any other spot to wrestle in. They can go to any other company. They could probably get paid more or get paid less. They can do stuff. You know, we do afternoon shows, so wrestlers can do my show, and then they can actually go to another show if they want to. That's dang near unheard of, because usually companies want wrestlers there all day to wrestle at night. I don't do that. We do our stuff in the morning, and then we have it in the afternoon, and then you can do whatever. Speaking of, because I definitely forgot, I'm actually working double duty February 21st. I'm making a debut at Backbreaker Wrestling. It's called Double Down. It's in Griffith, Indiana. So if you guys are going to head to C3, follow me to Backbreaker for Double Down. I'm definitely there. I'm excited. I messaged them about a year ago about being booking, and they're giving me the opportunity. I sent the promo, which is another thing I be liking. I love our promos, but I sent a promo to them and stuff because I want to show, hey, I will be the money's worth. Promos. I don't think a lot of people are touching us on promos, man. Outside of the editing and stuff that Arshawn and Kev and they do, outside of that, the fact that these wrestlers have a personality out of this world. You can't train people to say the stuff that they say and the things that they act like. You just can't do that. Like I said, man, these people, I believe in them and they believe in me. And I'm just grateful for it because, man, the magic that's being made. Like, low-key, it's like a promo war that's going on at C3. Oh, okay, you said this, I'm going to say that. Oh, that was a good promo. That's going to motivate me to say something else. So it's definitely dope. It's dope to promote something and then everybody wants to promote it and stuff and have a personality. So, yes, I am, sir. Yes, I am. I've done a double duty before, but I've never done my show to leave to go to another show. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. You, Tony, RVARZ. Yeah, Tony. Shout out to Tony, man. Tony, me and Tony, we chopped it up last night. We were like texting each other about certain stuff and certain things about the show, the 20th show. And man, when I tell you, so we are in the Tony era of flyers for C3. We are in the Tony era. Big Business had 2 flyers. I made a flyer, and then he made the blue flyer with the Detroit Lions fonts and stuff. And that's like the official flyer for Big Business. So when I told him about the next show, he was like, okay, well, you know, let me know if you need me to work on a flyer for the show in May. And I literally asked him about something else. And then he hit me up like, hey, I got some ideas I want to run by you. Like he said he was thinking about it. We spent hours on the phone. Could you do this? Could you do that? How this look good? This look good. And when I tell you, when everything is good, everything is good. So like I said, when people believe in the product and I believe in them, they believe in me, we just have a lot of belief. The Cobra. Yeah, the cover, that final boss energy is just crazy, man. It's just unheard of. You get what I'm saying? Very, very dope. But still, yeah, definitely that double duty. But I feel like I know I can do it. I've been, like I said, I've been going to practice every Wednesday, almost every Wednesday. My cardio is improving and stuff like that, and I'm very, very proud of myself. Like I said, people who believe in me, to believe, telling me to do these things and practice and stuff like that, and it's definitely working out. And I'm very, very, grateful for that. But as far as C3 and being a promoter, it's fun. Trials and tribulations is gonna happen and stuff like that, but it's been fun. I can't sit here and just be like, I'm complaining. Like, and I said this even with wrestling. If I'm not having fun with it, I don't want to do it anymore. Because nobody's twisting my arm to go out and just do this kind of stuff. Same thing with promoting. If I'm not having fun promoting and stuff like that, I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not gonna do it anymore because it's just like, hey, I'm not finding any fun with it. And sometimes we do things, and sometimes I know people who do wrestling shows just to make other wrestlers happy, and that's selfless. But at the same time, I can't. If I don't want to give 100%, I feel like I would be cheating the fans, and I'd be cheating myself. You get what I'm saying? Just to do it, just to do it. Like every show I've done that we've created, we've taken serious, right? We didn't try to do any shortcuts. We didn't try to do anything, right? Sometimes things didn't go our way as far as booking for time and stuff like that, and some people couldn't make it, and we made the best of it. And that's what we'll continue to do. And that's what we'll continue to do for C3. So thank you guys for like rocking with me. I'm actually at my kids' school. Oh, it's starting to snow. I definitely got to get them kids in the house, man. It's supposed to be snowing bad in Indiana tonight. I'm going to be cooking some jerk chicken tonight. But still, thank you guys for rocking with me, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys from this channel to go to C3. Some I've met from other channels and stuff like that. Some met me here, and then some see me on C3 and stuff like that. So like, shout out to y'all, man. Like I appreciate y'all. You guys are helping me a lot. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say like when I was a kid, I grew up I wanted to be a pro wrestler. That wasn't in my dreams. I think they thought that was impossible to do, and then just how God lined everything up. A young man from Texas come here and meet his wife in Indiana, and she used to wrestle, and then that got him basically in the door to wrestle, and it's something that he just loves, and something that he's not gonna just take for granted. You know what I'm saying? So very, very, very good, and I'm very grateful that to go from a wrestler to even a promoter and a booker. Like when I first started wrestling, I didn't think that I was going to be booking and promoting, but then I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, you know what? I think I can do this. And then having a supportive wife saying, do it. And I'm like, I bet I will. And then I did it. So definitely a blessing, man. But God bless you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me. This is Chris Classic. Stay at home.